I've never seen so much joy on this man's face. Riley Davis has somehow coerced me into talking about North Carolina's pickup game. Apparently, y'all do this like alumni thing like twice a week now.
Twice a year. It's twice in the summer. It's like back-to-back weeks for that's during like a Hubert Davis basketball camp. I went to last week's scrimmage, and the only alumni that were there were Paxton Wojcik and Danny Green. So it was like the current team split up into two teams plus those two. But the one that happened on Tuesday was like a full team of alumni, including Cole Anthony. I think it was Cole Anthony, Kenny Williams, Justin Jackson, Luke May. Who was the fifth? Brady Manick. Um, and Greg said that team sucked. I think that team's pretty good. I I did subject Greg to watching some slightly grainy YouTube footage of this game. Shout out to the random YouTube account that posts the footage of both these pickup games for us to go back and analyze. And I also want to call up, not calling out. We don't call out, we call up at Sleepers Media. I want to call up the UNC social media team and say, give us some good highlights, please. Like Drake Powell looks like a star, as does Ian Jackson. I need those dudes getting branded like the studs that they're going to be. That's all I'll say about that. But yeah, I'll turn it over to you first, Greg, because I have some thoughts on this. Some good, some bad, some in between. But what did you take away from the YouTube videos I sent you?
Okay, I have so many thoughts. I made a note in my phone here. First off, love that we're doing this as a topic. Second off, I know I have a reputation as a hater of many programs. If North Carolina fans are watching this, please don't feel like it's targeted at you or you are alone in this. Right now, I have Duke fans antagonizing me on Twitter. Even though we've been calling them our Let the Young Bulls Rock team, you've been texting me on the side saying we need to stop being so nice to Duke, and Duke fans hate us right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like Big Ten circles are constantly on me. I think I'm just a negative person a lot of the time. Maybe that's for content purposes, maybe it's not. The reality is North Carolina is going to be very good at basketball, even if they have a hole at center. And RJ Davis is great. So despite me not acknowledging that very much and making a lot of jokes at your expense, trust me, I understand North Carolina is a good basketball team. The question is just how good are they?
Mhm.
This event is really cool. I think it's cool that you do alumni scrimmages. Not a lot of schools do stuff like this. And you're probably one of the only schools in the country that could like actually get a competitive basketball game out of this from guys that are willing to come back. So shout out to y'all for that. You do need a way better social media team because one, I'm surprised that this is even available to watch. Like the fact that this is on YouTube, it shocks me that anyone was allowed to make this publicly available. One, but two, it looks like it was filmed on a flip phone. So, like, if we're gonna put it up, can we get some like cinematography and some video editing on this, or is there nobody on staff in charge of making this look good? It's crazy. I
Yeah,
had a lot of player takeaways. I'll let you drive on most of these, but to summarize my high level takeaways: one, RJ Davis looks incredible. He was dancing against the NBA guys, like just literally like, let me get on an island with a pro and I'm gonna cook you. And his step back stuff was beautiful. I think I've been underestimating, even though I've loudly said he's one of the top two guards in the country, still feels like I'm underestimating how good he might be this season. The freshmen that you mentioned, Drake and Ian, like yeah, I can't downplay it. They look really good. I am curious to get more in-depth thoughts from you, but I think these are probably two of the four best players on North Carolina from my eyes, at least from watching the scrimmage. I think center is still a huge hole. I didn't really see
mhm.
anything in that scrimmage that makes me feel better about possibilities at the big man spot. I didn't really see anything from Elliot Kado to write home about. And I didn't even notice Cade Tyson. Was Cade Tyson there?
So yeah, let's start with the good. Ian and Drake. I mean, Ian, say what you will, it was against Brady Manick, but he is a professional basketball player. I hope he finds his way to the league. Ian got Brady Manick on an island and just cooked him with a step back three. That was money.
Yeah.
Justin Jackson, who is still in the league. I know that maybe there's Duke fans hate watching this who are going to say, oh, y'all don't have any pros. I don't care. Justin Jackson is still in the league. He posted Drake up, and Drake got a very emphatic block on him, came down on the other hand, hit a three. I want to say like a three in transition. And they had certain lineups where they were running Drake at the point, which I thought was a lot of fun, just to have like a 6'6" toolsy wing in the Theo Pinson mold. I think Drake's ceiling is a lot higher than Pinson's, though. I think he's a different level of athlete. He has a 6'11" wingspan. He's already looking the part defensively. You just got to hope the jump shot comes along. But yeah, I agree with you. I think those two will pretty quickly cement themselves as like, I mean, I think the path for this UNC team to be the best it can be, RJ's obviously the first option. I think Kado needs to be the second best player. And then I really think 3 and 4 in some order should be Ian Jackson and Drake Powell.
Can I
They might
flesh
have,
that out a little bit? Is it
yeah,
do you feel strongly it's better for North Carolina that Kado is better than those two? And why do you feel that way?
just because Kado's going to have the ball in his hands a ton. And look, I know that you've kind of downplayed Kado throughout last season, but and I like if you look at the on-off numbers, RJ Davis's numbers were the best with Kado on the court with him. Just because Kado, I think, with his ability to create shot, like open up the floor with his driving kick, passing, and just his passing skill in general, got RJ a bunch of open looks or helped RJ get some open looks. So you want Kado to be playing big minutes. And I will say, Greg, you said he didn't look anything special. Through these two scrimmage games, Elliot Kado is 6 of 10 from three.
That is definitely something.
5 assists yesterday as well. Yeah, I would like to see maybe a little more of his speed and ability to get to the rim on display. He did have one really, I would say, a bad shot selection where got into the paint, drew Kenny Williams over as the help defender and shot anyway. And Kenny Williams just like sent the shot into the backcourt. But yeah, so I think that's the formula for success. Then when it comes to Cade Tyson and even Zaden High to a lesser extent, I would say like you got to let the young dudes rock. I know you say Duke is your let the young bulls rock, but like we don't need to pretend we don't need Jalen Withers starting. Jalen Withers started the game yesterday. Seth Trimble started the game yesterday. Trimble, maybe he gets some games like spotting as the starter, but I'm gonna lean towards saying Ian Jackson or Drake Powell starts at the 3.
Can I
And I
say
think it's gonna
this?
be
And you're
yeah.
not gonna like this, and neither are North Carolina fans, but just like let's be honest, like business decision wise, I don't understand why Seth Trimble returned to North Carolina. I really don't, especially after the way the NCAA tournament game went down, the rotation patterns that pissed off the families, the moms on Twitter. Like he just seemed like such an obvious, there's a log jam here and I need an opportunity guy. And I give him credit for like perseverance. I like Seth Trimble's upside, but I
Mhm.
like this. Yeah, you watch Ian Jackson and Drake yesterday. Elliot Cadeau's still there. RJ's the best guard in the country. What the hell is going to happen with Seth Trimble? He's not going to play.
I still think so. I don't know. It depends on how good Ian Jackson is because there's a clear path to I think Seth getting 17 to 20 minutes. I think that's probably about the cap if um I mean he has to improve his shot, but he's pretty good getting into the lane and he's not just he has some touch around the basket as well. Maybe it's a 2-year plan where if he sticks around for his senior year, I have a really tough time seeing how Seth Trimble isn't a starter, especially when you look at the guards UNC's looking at bringing in, whether it's a Caden Lewis or Jasper Johnson. There might be one more I'm forgetting. Like the sort of
Both of those dudes are starting over Seth, by the way.
Oh, I'm saying like RJ's going to be gone. Kado, I think if Kado probably wants to go pro after this year. Okay. Kado was a top 15 kid coming out of high school. He had
This
one and done
the
aspirations.
season needs to get here, man. I because in you just gave me in the same sentence 2-year plan, and yeah, Cadeau's probably gone. I've been doing this exact conversation with Illinois fans in our Discord who are telling me, yeah, it's 2-year plan. Kylan Boswell's probably gone after this year. No, they're not. Like these guys have not been good at all.
You know what, Greg? I needed this. I need someone to throw cold water on my hype that UNC's backcourt and wing rotation is going to be star studded, which it might be.
It
But
might be because you're
it
right.
might
The
be.
the freshmen look stellar. Like I am not coming here to rain on the parade. I'm not. And you obviously watched this more intent. You saw them in person last week. I straight up did not notice Elliot Cadeau's 6 threes. So that's on me. If he's 6 for 10 from three, that's absolutely notable. And look, even if Kado's the exact same guy he was last year, you already pointed to it. He makes RJ better. He makes everybody better. You just need to solve the situational stuff.
Mhm.
There's no shortage of talent for the guards and wings for sure. Of all the negative stuff I said, Cade Tyson is the one that I'd be most concerned about just because, like, I was really, really high on him when he committed in the portal. I truly expected him to come in and be like your second best player. And to me, just visually from the footage that you sent me, I mean, he's nowhere near Drake and Ian right now.
So what's crazy is I had heard last week that the word around the program was like how good Cade had been in practice early on, and in the pickup game they did last week that was more intra squad. Cade looked really good. He shot
Okay.
4 for 5, got involved early, looked like he belonged, was more physical than I expected. I think yesterday's game was, I mean, I think Withers got too many minutes, and I would have preferred to see more minutes of Tyson at the four. But they were weird lineups. Like it wasn't, I don't even know who was coaching these because both Hubert and Roy were just like chilling on the side of the court, which I think was really funny, but also
Love
I don't know,
that.
cool moment to
Love
have Roy
that.
there as well. But like the first subs of the game, the starting five got taken out and they had Drake running point, they had Ian at the two, they had Zaden High at the three, Vinal and Lubin at the four, and Jalen Washington or no, James Brown at the five, which I doubt we ever see that lineup in a game. That's just like throwing something out there
It's
and seeing what
disgusting.
happens. Can
Yeah.
I can I speak on Zaden High for a second though?
You are buying into Zayden, aren't you?
I'm buying into Zaden. Sorry, I feel like I've been talking a lot for all the
No, it's
listeners
fine.
out there. I'm gonna let G take the mic in a second. But I think I mentioned on a Riley Friday recently that I was buying into Zaden High, or one of the shorts we did. Greg, and your point was Juwan Howard wanted Zaden High. Zaden High stinks. I thought it was a pretty good Greg impersonation. But may I remind you, a point that you have made many times is that Juwan Howard accumulated talent. Juwan Howard put dudes in the league. So if Juwan Howard wanted Zaden High, maybe Zaden High is actually pretty good.
Juwan Howard wasn't putting Zayden high in the league. Okay, I can promise you that. No, look, I put Zayden and Seth in the same bucket of guys who can be good college players, but they are guys that they aren't just gonna pop up as bench guys and overtake good starters. Like they're gonna have to grow into a role. I would compare it to honestly, if you want a best case outcome of what the path could be for those guys, I would compare it to Kobe Buffkin at Michigan, who in year one was buried on the bench, buried because they had, trying to remember who all was there. It was like Caleb Houston, Eli Brooks came back, and other like Devontae Jones in the backcourt. They just didn't have minutes for him. There were pros everywhere, good players. And Kobe would come in for like 5 minutes a game and do something. He'd be like, oh, there's something there. But the fact that he never earned anything made you think, this guy's completely gone. Then the next
Mhm.
year, it was like Michigan's not even trying to get a transfer. I called them crazy at the time. And then they gave 35 minutes guaranteed to Kobe Buffkin. The first couple weeks were a little clunky. Then he was a superstar by December. So, like, if North Carolina was approaching a season with the intent to give Seth Trimble that role or give Zaden High that role, I would buy in because I do think the talent is there. But they are
Mhm.
not dudes who are going to be slotted in for an 8 minute role and then show up and be better than the eighth best recruit in the country.
Okay, I will give you that on Seth for sure. But here, let me do a little. I am in the middle of my clerkship for my body language PhD.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
a true scholar, always collecting and gathering knowledge in this field. Last week at the pickup game, Zaden High just carried himself with a lot of confidence. It was almost as if he was like, "All right, we didn't add a five. It is my time to take this role." That is those I can't explain it other than the way he was like shooting around in warmups, the way that he played in the game. Uh, I thought he just looked confident and ready to earn a big role. Again, I'm still in my program of getting a body language PhD. I have not achieved this yet, but that's just what I saw.
Do you think his chances come at the five?
I think kind of yes.
I needed an immediate yes to be all the way in on Zaden.
Okay, fair, fair,
That's
fair.
what I was going for. Like, if the plan is he's R5, I'm buying. If it's like, yeah, I don't know, maybe they'll try it. Then I'm like, God, that sounds like Xavier Booker at Michigan State last year. Oh, it'd be great if we don't have a center, so we should probably play that guy at center. No, he's buried at 4 still. So I believe you're almost selling me. We'll see if we get there. The final point I have on all of this, let's chill on gassing up how good the UNC alumni team is right now. Because I'm not doing the Duke fan thing, which is like, haha, they don't have pros. Y'all do have pros. You for sure have pros. Kenny Williams was like the third best player on this team, right?
Say Cole's the best. Brady Manick's the second best. Justin Jackson, third best. Kenny
Okay.
Williams is the fourth best.
Justin second best, if not best.
Yeah,
Justin
yeah,
and
Justin is the
Cole.
second best.
Then I guess Brady looked slow here.
Okay, but he was still sniping.
Yeah, but
He like did not.
it just some like if you're not an NBA player by the time you're like 25, don't you just kind of like lose it a little? Like I felt like this was a true alumni game to me, you know? Also, like, was there no part of them where like they're told to come back and take it easy? We want some propaganda for the young guys.
No, because like when I was a student, the alumni always won.
Okay.
Even I want to say in 2019, the team that had Kobe White, Nazir Little, Cam Johnson, Luke May, was Kenny Williams on that team? Kenny Williams might have been that might have been when he was still a student. I think they lost to the alumni team.
Okay. All right.
And Kobe White's like the best UNC pro in a decade plus.
Yeah, that's not great, but
Okay, but that was a good team. They just
it's a
lost to the
good team.
alumni because the alumni don't want to lose to the young dudes.
In
I
summary,
I
are
will
we
say some of the effort was lackadaisical when it comes to defense and
yeah.
rebounding. That left a lot to be desired on both sides. But
Which you would expect in like a fun little exhibition game, but I don't know. I left a little like when you told me the names on this team, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a cutthroat. They're gonna come for blood. I did not get the sense anyone on the alumni team was coming for blood. I thought that Luke May was maybe getting some cardio in. Brady Manick again, he can shoot the ball. He looks a little slow. Everybody else, like again, Kenny Williams was like one of the guys here. Like I would hope Ian Jackson might be better than Kenny Williams right now. Just me. Okay, that's it. In summary, I'll speak for me, then you can get the final blow on this. Stock is up for me with North Carolina basketball, despite all of my jokes. These freshmen are a lot better than I thought based on the video I watched this week, and that's everything.
I agree. I'm less worried. I'm a little less worried about the front court just because I'm more confident that between Jalen Washington, Zaden High, and Allen Lubin, you can find someone to be serviceable to good. And yeah, the freshmen were better than I expected as well.
It's a win. The NBA draft is coming up, and I've got something awesome for you. We are partnering with the people at NBA 2K Lab. NBA 2K is the best video game on earth. The people at 2K Lab are making some awesome stuff to make that game even more fun, and they just launched their 2024 NBA Draft Simulator, where you can find the official Sleepers Media big board. We ranked our top 75 players in this draft class. Me, Carter, Brian Ralph, Riley Davis. We did it together, and it is featured on the 2K Lab NBA Draft Simulator. You can take control of any team in the draft, play GM with just one click, and see our entire rankings before these videos even come out. Check out the link in the description of this video to try out the draft sim for yourself, and you can find more mini games at nba2klab.com/NBA-mini-games.